The sound of a child crying in a hospital corridor can break anyone's heart, but when boxing superstar Canelo Alvarez heard 8-year-old Isabella's sobs, he made a decision that would change not just her life, but reveal a secret from his own childhood that he had never shared with the world. What happened next in that sterile hospital hallway would become the most important fight of his career, and he wouldn't even need to throw a single punch. In the outskirts of Guadalajara, life for the Rodriguez family was a daily struggle. Pablo Rodriguez had been working the same cornfields for 3 generations. His hands were hardened by soil, his back bent by years of labor. His wife, Maria, contributed to the family income by washing neighbors' clothes. And Isabella was the light of their world. This 8-year-old girl would pick flowers for her father while he worked the fields and sing songs while her mother hung laundry. Her teachers always spoke about how intelligent Isabella was, how she wanted to become a doctor when she grew up. Though these dreams seemed distant for the family, Isabella's determination impressed everyone around her. But that autumn day, not only Isabella's dreams, but her very life was put in jeopardy. Pablo was working in the fields as usual when Isabella was running to bring him water. Suddenly, she stopped, clutched her stomach, and collapsed to the ground. Pablo's heart froze as he lifted his writhing daughter into his arms. "Daddy, it hurts so much," Isabella whispered as tears streamed down her face. From that day forward, their lives turned into a nightmare. During the first hospital visit, doctors exchanged worried glances, tests, examinations, more tests. With each passing day, Isabella grew weaker. Maria would sit by her daughter's bedside at night, trying to reduce her fever while struggling to hide her own tears. Finally, the news they had been dreading arrived. Dr. Martinez took a deep breath as he closed the file in front of the family. "Isabella has leukemia," he said quietly. "But we can treat it. Modern medicine can work miracles." Pablo and Maria looked at the doctor with hope. "What do we need to do?" Pablo asked with a trembling voice. Dr. Martinez's next words shattered their world. "The treatment will cost 2.5 million pesos. Chemotherapies, medications, hospital stays. We need to start immediately. 2.5 millones de pesos, 50 times what Pablo earned in a year, 100 times what Maria could earn in a lifetime. Impossible numbers, unreachable figures." "But doctor," Maria said with a shaking voice, "we don't have that kind of money." "I understand," the doctor said, averting his eyes. "Social Security will cover part of it, but the remainder—" He didn't finish his sentence. There was no need to. That night, after Isabella had fallen asleep, Pablo and Maria sat at the kitchen table. All the money Pablo had in his pocket lay on the table, 3,247 pesos. It wasn't even enough for a month's groceries, let alone their daughter's life. "We'll sell the house," Pablo said. "For how much?" 80,000 pesos? 100,000? It won't be enough, Pablo. "We'll borrow from relatives." "From whom?" "They're as poor as we are." Silence, helplessness, and Isabella's gentle breathing from the other room. Maria pressed her head against the table and cried, "God, my daughter is going to die and there's nothing I can do." The next day, Pablo told his worker friends about the situation. One suggested taking out a loan. Another removed a shirt button to show his gold underneath. "Sell this," he said. Pablo was grateful for these offers, but his heart was broken. All of this was just a drop in the ocean. Days turned into weeks. Isabella's condition was worsening. She could no longer go to school. Most of the time she stayed in bed, occasionally asking, "Daddy, when will I get better?" Pablo didn't know what to answer. After a month, Dr. Martinez called the family to his office. "Unfortunately," he said, "because you haven't started treatment, Isabella's condition has become critical. We can't wait any longer." "We couldn't find the money," Pablo said with shame. "I understand. But you need to understand that if we wait longer..." The doctor didn't complete his sentence, but everyone understood. That afternoon, as the family was leaving the hospital, Isabella was stroking her hair while in her mother's arms. "Mom, we're going home, right? I'm going to get better now, right?" Maria couldn't say anything. She just held her daughter tighter. As they stood in the hospital parking lot, Isabella suddenly asked, "Mommy, am I going to die?" This simple question, so innocent, so direct, shattered Maria's heart. Pablo felt as if his legs had given way. "No, sweetheart," Maria whispered. "God will show us a way." Just then, a voice came from behind them. "Excuse me," the voice said, Spanish but with a slight accent. "I couldn't help but notice. Is your daughter okay?" When they turned around, a medium-built, athletic man was standing there. Hooded sweatshirt, cap, sunglasses. He looked ordinary enough to be unrecognizable, but there was something in his eyes, compassion, genuine concern. "She's sick," Pablo said briefly. He neither wanted to explain too much nor disturb the stranger. "Leukemia," the man said directly. The way he said this word had a tone as if he had experienced it before. "I can see. I've been through something similar." Maria was surprised. "Your child?" "Me." The man slightly lifted his cap. "When I was very young, my family was also very poor. I know what you're feeling." Isabella was listening to this conversation. "Were you sick too, uncle?" The man knelt down to Isabella's level. "Yes, little princess, but I got better. You will get better too." "But the doctor wants a lot of money," Isabella said innocently. Something changed in the man's face. His eyes sparkled, but with pain. "How much?" Pablo hesitated. Why should he tell a stranger? But the sincerity in the man's eyes affected him. 2.5 million pesos, the man nodded. "That's a lot of money." "Yes," Pablo said hopelessly. "It's impossible." "It's not impossible," the man said quietly. "Difficult, but not impossible." This sentence caught Maria's attention. There was something in this man's tone. Hope? Or just comfort? "What's your name?" the man asked. "Pablo Rodriguez. This is my wife Maria, my daughter Isabella." "Nice to meet you. I'm Saul." Saul. An ordinary name, but there was something in the way he said it. "Isabella, would you talk with me for a minute?" Saul said. The girl looked at her mother and father. They nodded. "What do you want to be, Isabella?" "A doctor. I want to heal sick children, like me." Saul smiled, a genuine warm smile. "That's a wonderful goal, and you'll definitely achieve it." "Really?" "Even if I'm sick. Being sick makes you stronger. You understand others' pain. The best doctors are those who have been sick themselves." Isabella's eyes lit up. For the first time in weeks, she was hearing someone talk about her future. Saul stood up and came to the family. "Come here tomorrow. At 2 p.m., talk to Dr. Martinez. Everything will be taken care of." "What do you mean?" Pablo asked. "Isabella's treatment. It will begin." "But the money?" "It's handled," Saul said simply. "All I ask is this. Don't share this conversation with anyone. Ever. Agreed?" Pablo and Maria looked at each other in shock. This couldn't be real. Would a stranger spend millions of pesos on people he didn't know? "Why?" Maria whispered. Saul stopped. For a long time he said nothing. Then he removed his cap. Underneath were reddish hair, familiar facial features. And Maria's breath caught. "Canelo," Pablo whispered. "You're Canelo Alvarez." The world-famous boxer nodded. "You'll keep the secret, won't you?" "But why?" Maria asked again. Canelo took a deep breath. "I also had leukemia when I was 6 years old. My family was also very poor. From an even poorer neighborhood in Guadalajara. My father was also a field worker. My mother was also a washerwoman." The Rodriguez family froze. Had one of the world's most famous boxers lived the same story? "So how did you get better?" Isabella asked curiously. "Luck," Canelo said. "A doctor treated me for free. There was an experimental program. I was lucky." He paused. But many more children aren't lucky. That's why you help, Isabella said, understanding. Yes, little princess, because I was once in your place too. The next day, when the Rodriguez family came to the hospital, everything was ready. Dr. Martinez greeted them with a smile. We're starting Isabella's treatment right away. All expenses have been covered. By whom? Pablo asked, despite their agreement with Canelo. An anonymous donor, the doctor said. There's only one condition: complete confidentiality. Isabella's treatment lasted 18 months. There were difficult days, chemotherapy sessions, hair loss, fatigue, but the family's hope never diminished, because they knew an angel was protecting them. During this time, Canelo regularly visited the hospital, each time in a different disguise, with a different name. Sometimes Jose, sometimes Carlos, sometimes Luis. But for Isabella, he was always Uncle Saul. During these visits, he didn't just talk to Isabella, he spent time with other children too, playing games, telling stories, giving hope. The nurses always talked about this mysterious visitor, but didn't know who he was. On Isabella's 9th birthday, Canelo prepared a special surprise. He organized a small birthday party in the hospital room. Cake, balloons, gifts, and most importantly, boxing gloves. What are these for? Isabella asked. Because you're a fighter, Canelo said. You're fighting leukemia. When you wear these gloves, you'll feel strong. Isabella put on the gloves. They were too big, but she smiled. I'll become a champion like you too. You're already a champion, Canelo said. You're winning the most important match. At the end of 18 months, Dr. Martinez gave the most beautiful news. Isabella is completely cured. No more cancer. The Rodriguez family cried, laughed, hugged, and Canelo was crying too. Thank you, Pablo said. We don't know how to thank you. No need, Canelo said. Isabella is better. That's enough. But all I ask is this, Canelo said. When Isabella grows up, when she becomes a doctor, she should help other children too. This chain of kindness should continue. Years passed. Isabella grew up, recovered, finished school. She graduated as valedictorian from high school. When she was about to enter university, an unexpected visitor came to the family's home. Uncle Saul! Isabella shouted, now a graceful 17-year-old girl. Princess, Canelo said, smiling, how's university going? I got into medical school, University of Guadalajara. Wonderful. And how will you pay for it? Isabella was embarrassed. The family was still poor. Education was expensive. Don't worry, Canelo said. Your education is also covered until you finish medical school. Why do you always help us? Isabella asked. Canelo looked out the window. Because someone once helped me too. And this is how it should continue. Isabella graduated from medical school with honors. She became a pediatric oncology specialist. Now she works at Guadalajara Children's Hospital. And she tells every cancer patient child's family, don't lose hope. I also lived through this disease. Recovery is possible. And sometimes, in very special cases, she organizes anonymous donations for poor families, just as was once done for her. Canelo is still boxing, still winning championships, but his real victory is outside the ring. With every child he helps, with every life he saves. In Isabella's office hangs a framed photograph, 9-year-old Isabella and Uncle Saul in the hospital room beside the birthday cake. Both are smiling. Under the photograph is a small inscription, Chain of kindness never ends. Because sometimes the greatest championships are won in places no one sees, and sometimes the greatest fighters make history not with their punches, but with the greatness of their hearts. Isabella is now Dr. Isabella Rodriguez Saul. She took Saul as her middle name because she wants to carry the name of the man who gave her a second life. And every time she looks at a cancer patient child, she thinks, you are strong too. you are a fighter too, and you will get better too. Because hope never dies. It just passes from one person to another like a chain of kindness. If you think the Hero Corner stories deserve to be continued, don't forget, hit the subscribe button.